we've lost confidence in our ability to realize the future we envision. And now a lot of us are retreating into to nostalgia.
This is great. Honestly, Casper, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me about Buddy. I really, really appreciate this.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
It's a wonderful time or a wonderful opportunity to chat with you about the film. I actually, wonderful to chat with you again. I think the last time we spoke was over the Yule Log
Ah, yes,
film a few
yes,
years back. And here we are with Buddy,
yes.
which is so wild and so much fun. Speaking, of course, with writer-director Casper Kelly, the creator of Buddy. Casper, where did this film is wild? Where did it come from?
Um, I guess it came from of course I grew up on kids shows and then I had to go through it again with my own children and thinking about, those shows that are so sweet and the kids are so well behaved and just making me wonder what's going on there. And I think even as a kid, uh, when I was really little and just thought I was watching life and watching
Mm.
these kids that lived in this television. I remember when they would suddenly break out into song and start dancing. I was disturbed. I was like, how would they all know to do that? What happened? How would they all know how to do that? What happened? What's going on there? Are they being controlled? I don't know. So probably a little bit of that is my just being a weird kid, I guess.
Certainly, Buddy tells a story of a non-purple dinosaur specific reference without making any names. But yet, this kids world that obviously undercuts itself, and this is something that we've seen in your work before. What is it about this feeling of safety in kids programming that you like to undercut so much?
I wish I knew, and I don't know. Yeah, but it is. I definitely. Um, well, I think part of it is um, with a genre, and I would include like a kids show as a genre, or let's say with Too Many Cooks, a sitcom. There's certain rules and there's certain guardrails. Like in a kids show, certain things would never happen because there's a million executives and government agencies that would ensure it wouldn't happen. So it then allows you to drive through those guardrails and uh, uh, knock your audience off their guard, and also I think it just kind of works in a metaphorical way because we go through life thinking certain things are safe or there's certain guardrails, and then sometimes something happens where you realize no, that was an illusion. That safety was an illusion. The guardrails didn't exist.
Well, what is it? One of the kids in this one says, why are bad words so fun?" At one point, and it's like, oh yeah, we're really kicking down the door for these kids of sort of realizing this world outside. Um, but it's interesting too because in preparing for this conversation, looking in the notes, there's you make a comment about Grimm's fairy tales and how family children's entertainment always seemed to had an agenda. Um, can you talk about that here? Because as we're talking about those guardrails, a lot of times, you said somebody has put them in place because they're trying to create that world of safety, but at the same time that it does lean into that agenda.
I hadn't thought about Grimm's fairy tales, but that's very interesting because those are, of course, very dark and meant for children, and they're usually morality tales where the kids do something wrong that they shouldn't have done to get them in that trouble, but not always. But I think in the modern world with kids television, the desire was to sort of scrub all that out, um, and make it very positive and sort of encouraging our modern concept of the proper behavior to become a successful, productive member of society who knows how to emotionally regulate yourself and everything. And it's sort of that's the modern agenda. Um, and as a result, it's less likely to deal with sort of the darker, illogical parts of humanity.
Mm. With that being said, and I mean, like I said, this is a nostalgia corner I've got behind me here, but is there a certain sense of danger to nostalgia that maybe we don't consider?
Uh, yeah, absolutely. And I sort of would bristle at like if I am interested in nostalgia as a writer more than I'm more interested in certain structures that it's fun to play with the form. But on the other
Yeah.
hand, a lot of the stuff I watch myself is nostalgic. I watch this show called Found Footage Festival that they play old VHSs. So yeah, there is something about nostalgia. And I think it is, yeah. In fact, maybe I should tackle that more directly in another movie. That can be its own dangerous retreat as well, where you can withdraw into that. In fact, there's this documentarian. Oh my gosh, what is his name? Anyway, never mind, never mind. But he deals a lot with he's a British documentarian. He did one called Hypernormalization, and he deals with this is an interesting thought actually that that the world used to have the Western world used to have a concept of the future of Star Trek or what have you, of what the future was going to be like. And we've lost that. We've lost confidence in our ability to realize the future we envision, and now a lot of us are retreating into to nostalgia because there is no concept of a future. It's an interesting thought.
That is fascinating. I never thought of that. That's really interesting.
Adam Curtis, that's the guy's name. Adam
Adam
Curtis.
Curtis. Okay, that's fascinating. Um, um, One of the things I love about this thing, and you have, I mean, I have to ask this too. I mean, you have Kristen Milioti, if I'm saying her name properly, in this as who is just phenomenal. I mean, there's lots of phenomenal people in this film. Um, and she's wonderful in the role of the mother. And there seems to be this question of calling out the monsters. We see moments where she's chatting with the character of Freddy. I think it's Freddy.
Yes.
Um, and reminding her of that. And I was wondering why that was interesting for you to explore in this film.
I think that's a great question. I think on a deep level, step one is to acknowledge something is a monster
Mm,
because a lot of times you're in denial about it. You're in denial about it because you want it to it's something you look up to and trust. So it's a huge step to be able to take that step. It's almost like leaving a cult. The first
mm.
steps of leaving a cult are doubting something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, certainly we see here that trust and mistrust works really well with this sort of horror comedy slash hybridness. Uh, just as well too. Just I know we're starting to run out of time, but I thought I'd ask you about the set design because certainly, I mean, we see the influence of lots of iconic children's shows, but was that fun to create? And was there one or two that you really decided to lean in on?
Oh yeah, that was a blast. And I worked with this production designer at Anna Kathleen, who just went above and beyond and did miracles with our budget. Um, yeah, I wanted it to feel wonderful and magical. And I mean, there was so much talking of the color palette or like the size of there's a talking well called the worry well, and the size and color of the stones on the worry well, and his eyebrows and whether they would be stone as well. And it was just fun to create that world, and then without spoiling too much, there are other worlds beyond this world, and it was so fun to shift gears and then do something totally different. It was great.
Yeah, this would really let your imagination run.
Yes.
It's wild, it's fun. Honestly, Casper, I really appreciate the chance to chat with you about it. Thank you. This is it's great, and I'm looking forward to hopefully we get to chat again on your next project. You know,
Yeah,
as we
I want
do
to
some,
do every single movie that we get to chat. And then
that would be great.